Sunrider posted a 2:12.121 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Drarisma has a best lap time of 19:23.330. Sunrider's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:12.121. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
There's the first flying lap for Chris Drarisma, hitting 19:23.330. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Sunrider has a best lap time of 2:11.775. These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Alright, Sunrider has put down a 2:33.994. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that radical state route 3.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
With just 23 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Sunrider posted a 2:33.994 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Yoff, S on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Simon Barnes crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 7:42.596. They're getting to grips with Paul Ricard 2021, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster lap.
On the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Paul Ricard 2021.
Sunrider's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:12.465. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
And off goes Eric Wolfs, easing into the rhythm of Paul Ricard 2021. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Chris Draesmer's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:15.272. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
And there's Megasaurus 55, easing out onto Paul Ricard 2021. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and tempo.
Megasaurus. Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
There are just over 15 minutes left in this practice session. Watch as Roby takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Yoff is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Paul Ricard 2021.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Paul Ricard 2021, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting from pole position is a dream come true for Roby. Our second place starter for today's race is none other than Sunrider. Megasaurus 55 is holding down the fort in third place,
putting that Radical State Route 3 into prime position for the race.
As the drivers prepared to take off, Eric Wolf sits in fourth place on the starting grid. Our fifth place starter, Chris Draresma, is poised to make a move towards the front.
What can they do with that Radical State Route 3 from here?
Starting from the sixth position, Wayne Pearson will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
That Radical State Route 3 looks like it has some potential.
D-Max is lining up seventh.
It's the medium's tires for D-Max.
Starting from 8th on the grid is a good position for Simon Barnes to launch an attack. Yoff will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 9th on the grid.
An opportunity for some good points today, but the others aren't going to make it easy. Flags dropped, and it's mayhem. First lap's like dodging drop bears. You gotta be sharp or it's goodbye Charlie. Staying out of the fray in these opening moments? That's half the battle. Push too hard too soon and you're just asking for trouble.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Paul Ricard 2021, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. Looks like Roby's gone a bit wobbly on us. Like throwing a thong on a Barbie, unpredictable and not the best idea. From 1 to 6 in no time.
Having raced these tracks, I can tell yaw position is everything. Robbie losing ground this early? That's tough. Hope they got some tricks up their sleeve.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Paul Ricard 2021. I think we are in for a cracking race.
It all comes down to this run, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can. Now it comes down to Simon Barnes to bring it home.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage? So Wayne Pearson's decided to play it cool, eh? Holding on to 6 like a croc with a juicy steak. Just sizing up the competition, I reckon. Look, it's not always the fireworks on track that win the race. Chris Drarisma is playing it cool, holding their cards close. Blimey, Yoff is closing in on Wayne Pearson like they owe them money. This duel is going to light up Virage de Lac.
That's right, YOV is determined to pass Wayne Pearson and secure a higher position.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Simon Barnes is right on the heels of YOV, and we're in for a wild ride. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Wow, YOV is really pushing hard to catch up to Wayne Pearson. There's blood in the water for 6th place. Stone the Crows. Yovi's pulled a sneaky, landing at 8th. Always a surprise with them. Blimey, Yovi's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 7th just like that. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Yoff is breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson, not giving him any room to relax. The action is non-stop as Simon Barnes shadows YOV through every twist and turn, determined to claim 7th.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
The adrenaline is pumping as YOV gets within striking distance of Wayne Pearson in their race for 6th. Hold on to your hats. Yoff is gunning for Wayne Pearson. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? The gap between Simon Barnes and YOV is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest.
You reckon Yov's sweating bullets yet, Rob? Because I'd be needing a towel by now with Simon Barnes right behind me.
I'm Rob the commentator bot. Let's do this.
I'm Hal, Rob's co-commentator. I can't wait.
Yoff's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:13.456. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
It's a beautifully calm day here at Paul Ricard 2021, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Rob.
The flag makes its descent, and our tail begins. Like a kangaroo in a pickup truck, it's a jolty start fraught with potential pitfalls.
Right here, right now, it's about avoiding those fender benders and staying in the mix. Nobody wants to start their race with a hiccup.
G'day viewers, if you're just tuning in, you've picked the ripper of a moment. Megasaurus 55 is in second and they're tailgating the leader. This is edge of your seat stuff.
You bet, Rob. It's like the leader's got a drop bear in the rear-view mirror, lurking, waiting for that perfect moment to drop. Megasaurus 55 is surely smelling opportunity here.
It's not coming up roses for Megasaurus 55. They're trailing Sunrider and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Blimey, Yoff is sticking to Wayne Pearson like a kangaroo to her Joey. At this rate, they'll be side by side as they hit Corby de Galabai.
With YOV on the hunt, Wayne Pearson better not blink. Every split second counts in this tango.
Yovi's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Wayne Pearson like a dingo after a roadrunner. Reminds me of two wombats fighting for the best burrow. Close, intense, and unpredictable.
Oh, this is gripping. With every lap, Megasaurus 55's drawing closer to that lead spot. They're both battling tire to tire.
If I were the leader, I'd be checking my mirrors every blink of an eye. It's not going to plan for Megasaurus 55. They are still behind Sunrider and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. With all these modern racing aids, I sometimes wonder, would the legends of the past, the real trailblazers of the sport, have had it easier or tougher today?
That's a debate for the ages, Rob. The tracks might have evolved, the cars definitely have, but the heart of racing? That's eternal.
Buckle up, Yoff is all over Wayne Pearson like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
This battle between YOV and Wayne Pearson is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Here's the thing about racing. Sometimes, it's not just about speed. It's about pressure, mind games, and this, right here, is a masterclass from Megasaurus 55. Sticking so close to the leader, making him constantly aware of the imminent threat.
Spot on. It's like a shark circling its prey. The leader knows it, we know it, and by the looks of it, Megasaurus 55 is ready for the kill.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
I swear, Yovi's on the prowl, making that leap to fifth look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue.
Impressive. YOV is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Stone the Crows. Yovi's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, fourth.
Absolutely. YOV is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss. You can feel the rumble from here. Megasaurus 55's in the thick of it, and they're not letting go. It's a battle of wills, and only the strongest will come out on top.
Yeah, it's like the final lap of the Daytona 500. Pedal to the metal, eyes on the prize, and no room for error. This is what racing's all about.
Good on ya, Roby. Trailin' so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
Exactly. Robbie's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Megasaurus 55 in second is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, it's so close. I reckon Megasaurus 55 can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
The battle for 4 is heating up as Wayne Pearson tries to catch YOV. In P4,
Coming out of Virage de Bender, Wayne Pearson's got the downforce and grip. That car's as sticky as North Carolina barbecue sauce, and he's looking to stick right to Yov's tail.
this is like the state of origin for Sunrider, going full tilt, gunning for the top, and not holding back.
And on my end, it's the Super Bowl vibes all over. Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is racing at its finest.
I tell you what, Sunrider has got more problems than a maths book right now. Megasaurus 55 is leaving them in a cloud of dust. As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Wayne Pearson's shadowing YOV, waiting for the slightest misstep. Sunrider's in an exciting position at second. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo in a sleeping bag up there. But yeah, every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in second might just steal that top spot.
As of now, Chris Drarisma stands tall in the third spot. Good day, viewers. If you're just tuning in, you've picked a ripper. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Well, that was a proper Barbie flip by Sunrider. Too much snagger, not enough bun.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. Sunrider just made a doozy of a blunder.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Wayne Pearson is right behind YOV, keeping the pressure on for fourth place.
This is getting heated, with Wayne Pearson nipping at the heels of YOV. They're gonna make Virage de Bender one to remember.
Stone the Crows. Wayne Pearson's managed to trim the gap with Yoff, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
Remember when Eric Wolfs was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Good lord, at this rate, Eric Wolfs is gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
Hold on to your stubbies. Wayne Pearson is closing in on YOV, like a bachelor at the end of a buck's night. Hope YOV either brought some lube or protection.
On this asphalt battlefield, Wayne Pearson's determination is the weapon, and YOV is the target.
Would ya look at that? Wayne Pearson's thrown down the gauntlet. Yoff, you gonna pick that up or just admire the view from behind?
Hot damn, Wayne Pearson's burning it up, and Yov's got front row seats to the show. Hope they didn't blush too hard.
Eric Wolfs is placed 8th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Roby, who is 10.2 seconds behind. Eric Wolfs has turned up the heat and put some shrimp between them and Roby, making a fair dinkum gap. Bloody hell, Eric Wolfs is tearing up the tarmac and just snatched 7th. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration. The tension is building as D-Max trails behind Wayne Pearson. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Wayne Pearson hold on, or will D-Max be able to close them down? While Megasaurus 55 is not under immediate threat from YOV, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Oh mate, Chris Dram is more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie. Chris Dram is falling behind Wayne Pearson at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close that gap. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and YOV may be wide, but that doesn't mean Megasaurus 55 is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Looks like D-Max is trying to chase down Roby, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Gee whiz, D-Max is so far back, I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
The gap between D-Max and Roby is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 7.5 seconds. Even though Eric Wolfs is a fair way behind Simon Barnes, they can't afford to let their guard down. Simon Barnes is still vulnerable to mistakes.
It's like Simon Barnes is out on the open highway and Eric Wolfs is still getting directions at the last gas station. Got a bit of catching up to do.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Simon Barnes for nabbing 5th.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Simon Barnes just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 5th.
Hold up a mo. Well, Roby's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 4 kph out there right now.
With steely determination and laser focus, Roby is homing in on D-Max. The battle lines are drawn.
This ain't a track, it's a coliseum, and the gladiators are putting on one hell of a show.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Sunrider is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to bring Sunrider into play. Impressive stuff from Megasaurus 55, who has managed to pull away from Sunrider, leaving him choking in their exhaust fumes. You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
The echo of the exhausts, the rubber meeting road, and there's Roby commanding the 8th. You reckon Wayne Pearson's rear view is just filled with Roby now?
Oh, without a doubt. That's a sight no driver wants in their mirrors. You're right. Wayne Pearson in 7th needs to stay cool under pressure and make every move count. But Roby is a fierce competitor, and they won't give up without a fight.
The age-old challenge. Simon Barnes is trying to catch Roby, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
That's right. Simon Barnes in ninth knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Robbie is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
With a move that's swift, I'd say Simon Barnes is running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
You can't argue with results like that. Simon Barnes is really making their mark on this race.
It may seem like Sunrider is far behind, but Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Sunrider an opening to catch up. Well, looky here, pal, Sunrider is closing in on Megasaurus 55. We're talking a gap of just 8.5 seconds. While Eric Wolfs is not under immediate threat from D-Max, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. The gap might be more than a second, but YOV is showing persistence, kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give. The gap between YOV and Eric Wolfs is widening. It's now up to 12.8 seconds. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics. But we all know that's impossible. Or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race. Anything can happen.
Ha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier. Or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. Yoff is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of D-Max, who is 9.6 seconds behind.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than D-Max is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them.
Even though YOV is a fair way behind Eric Wolfs, they can't afford to let their guard down. Eric Wolfs is still vulnerable to mistakes. It looks like YOV is starting to catch up to Eric Wolfs. The gap is now down to 12.7 seconds. The gap between YOV and D-Max may be wide, but that doesn't mean YOV is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Well, in the rearview mirror of life, D-Max might look closer than they appear. But on this track, they've got some miles to cover to catch YOV.
YOV's lead over D-Max is shrinking quicker than a cheap shirt in a hot wash. We're down to 9.1 seconds.
YOV. Better find a way to step on the gas or else D-Max will be whizzing past before you can say, checkered flag.
Would ya look at that gap? Simon Barnes has got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger. The gap between D-Max and Wayne Pearson is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from D-Max to bring Wayne Pearson into play.
You know, it's like D-Max is out on a Sunday Arvo drive. They can see Wayne Pearson in the rear view, but there's no rush, mate.
Like a dingo on the chase, Wayne Pearson is hounding D-Max and the gap's now just 4.7 seconds.
This ain't D-Max's first rodeo, but they've got a real challenge on their hands keeping Wayne Pearson in the rear-view mirror.
While Megasaurus 55 is not under immediate threat from Sunrider, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. You wouldn't read about it. Megasaurus 55 is putting a fair whack of space between them and Sunrider.
Yeah, Rob, Megasaurus 55's really hitting the gas, but can Sunrider kick it into high gear and catch up? You ain't whistling Dixie, Rob. Megasaurus 55's putting on a show that's sure to keep the crowd on the edge of their seats.
It may seem like Wayne Pearson is far behind, but D-Max can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Wayne Pearson an opening to catch up.
Reckon Wayne Pearson's starting to feel a bit like they're out in the outback. They can see the horizon, but it's a long way off. Good on ya, D-Max, for keeping that distance.
Mate, are they packing something extra down under? D-Max has just rocketed into 5th.
Yes, D-Max is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Aussies love a good underdog story. Any dark horses you're keeping an eye on for this race?
Well, every rodeo has its wild card. I've got a couple names in mind, but I'll keep them close to the vest for now.
Even though Wayne Pearson is a fair way behind D-Max, they can't afford to let their guard down. D-Max is still vulnerable to mistakes.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, D-Max has got the miles, and Wayne Pearson's counting the inches.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Simon Barnes comfortably sitting at 8th.
You nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Simon Barnes's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort.
The gap between D-Max and Wayne Pearson may be wide, but that doesn't mean D-Max is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Crikey, D-Max is flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Wayne Pearson with quite a clip.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. They've got to keep their eyes on the prize and not let ego steer them off the track.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Sunrider is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to bring Sunrider into play.
Oi, Sunrider, better crank up that Walkman and put on some tunes. At this rate, you'll be catching up to Megasaurus 55 by the encore.
Bugger me, Megasaurus 55's got their thongs stuck in the mud. Meanwhile, Sunrider is off like a bucket of prawns in the sun.
Whoa there, partner. Megasaurus 55's slipping behind like a pickup on a slick road. Sunrider's showing them how it's done.
During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
Megasaurus 55 is placed first at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Sunrider, who is 7.6 seconds behind. While Eric Wolfs is not under immediate threat from YOV, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Things are starting to get tense as YOV manages to close the gap to Eric Wolfs. It's now down to 12.0 seconds.
This here's the make or break moment for Eric Wolfs. They've got to stay cool as a cucumber and keep it clean and neat.
It may seem like Wayne Pearson is far behind, but D-Max can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Wayne Pearson an opening to catch up.
That's right, and Wayne Pearson knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let D-Max off the hook.
A commanding performance from D-Max, who has increased their lead over Wayne Pearson, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Yovi's journey in fourth. Superb driving from YOV, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Well, slap my knee and call it a jamboree. Yov's putting on a masterclass, storming into third.
The gap between D-Max and Wayne Pearson may be sorry to cut in here, it's true. Eric Wolfs is having a real dog's breakfast at the moment. If Eric Wolfs goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
Look, Eric Wolfs' pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable execution.
Fair dinkum, Eric Wolfs is finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
With every lap, I can see Eric Wolfs making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Robbie their taillights.
Hey, Hal, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Rob, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
Tell ya what, D-Max is trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle? Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle, Hal, but D-Max's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Yoff. Sunrider's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind. Good news for Sunrider, the gap to Megasaurus 55 has decreased. It's now down to 6.2 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind, even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
Well, shoot, if Eric Wolfs was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
Bloody hell, Eric Wolfs has got to get the wind back in their sails. They're mucking about while Roby's off having a barbie with the lead.
Eric Wolfs is looking like a deer caught in the headlights. Meanwhile, Robbie is off to the races, making Mama proud.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Sunrider is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to bring Sunrider into play.
If this was a country song, Megasaurus 55 would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Sunrider would still be tying their boots.
Megasaurus 55's ripping it up out there, going harder than a roo on a trampoline and leaving Sunrider in their wake.
Megasaurus 55 is controlling the track like a seasoned hound dog on the hunt, making it harder than a preacher's knee for Sunrider to overtake.
In a race where seconds count, Eric Wolfs is counting on less of them between themselves and Roby. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Eric Wolfs right now. Come to think of it, at least they've got a destination in mind.
Even though Roby is a fair way behind Wayne Pearson, they can't afford to let their guard down. Wayne Pearson is still vulnerable to mistakes. He can't hold on. Wayne Pearson is losing time to Roby.
This is where the pressure really starts to mount on Wayne Pearson. They need to stay focused and not make any mistakes.
The strategy plays such a crucial role, doesn't it? Choosing when to pit, what tyre compound to use. It's like a high-speed chess game out there.
Exactly, and to think they're making these decisions on the fly, with so many variables at play. It's a mix of intuition, experience, and sheer guts. Kudos to the team's strategists and drivers alike.
The crowd is on tenterhooks as Simon Barnes in 8th chases after Eric Wolfs. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Simon Barnes find a way to catch up?
Nail-biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Simon Barnes is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
Looks like Eric Wolfs is legging it from Simon Barnes. The gap's growing like a well-watered wattle as they zoom through Barrage de la Sainte-Bone. Roby is placed 6th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Eric Wolfs, who is 6.5 seconds behind.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Eric Wolfs can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Well, I'll be hal. Roby's lead over Eric Wolfs is slipping away faster than a greased pig at a county fair. We're down to just 6.1 seconds now.
This is a critical moment in the race for Roby. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of Eric Wolfs.
While YOV is not under immediate threat from D-Max, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Yoff is burning rubber like there's no tomorrow. D-Max needs to show some ticker if they want to close that gap.
Well, Rob, as we say in North Carolina, the race ain't over till the checkered flag. Let's see if D-Max has some tricks up their sleeve. It's clear as day that YOV is holding all the cards. They're making it near impossible for D-Max to close that gap.
It may seem like Eric Wolfs is far behind, but Roby can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eric Wolfs an opening to catch up. Impressive driving from Roby, who has managed to extend their lead over Eric Wolfs. They are walking away at this point. Does Eric Wolfs have anything in reserve? The way these cars grip the track is incredible. It's all about downforce. They're stuck to it like a piece of gum to the bottom of a school desk.
Now that's an analogy I get. But why's your gum always under the desks?
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Sunrider may be wide, but that doesn't mean Megasaurus 55 is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
It's like Megasaurus 55's out on the open highway and Sunrider's still getting directions at the last gas station. Got a bit of catching up to do.
Buckle up, Hal. Sunrider is cutting into Megasaurus 55's lead like a hot knife through butter. It's now down to 6.3 seconds.
It's gut check time for Megasaurus 55. They've got to dig deep and put some serious rubber to the road if they hope to stay ahead of Sunrider.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Simon Barnes, who is currently in P8. But Eric Wolfs is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Simon Barnes. The gap between Simon Barnes and Eric Wolfs is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Sorry to interrupt here, but someone's revved up after lunch. Simon Barnes has blitzed ahead, claiming 7th.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Simon Barnes is charging like a bull in a china shop. Welcome to 7th, cowboy.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Megasaurus 55 trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Sunrider. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Megasaurus 55 close in enough to mount a challenge?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Megasaurus 55 in second determined to catch up. But we know Sunrider isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Megasaurus 55 is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
It's looking good for Sunrider, sitting in first.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Sunrider is watching their lead over Megasaurus 55 shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 14.3 seconds.
Can they keep them behind him? Let's see.
Even though D-Max is a fair way behind YOV, they can't afford to let their guard down. Yoff is still vulnerable to mistakes. He's pulling away. YOV is increasing the gap to D-Max.
Darn tootin', Rob, Yoff, is looking as smooth as a gravy sandwich out there. They're making it a tough day at the office for D-Max.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Roby is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Wayne Pearson to bring Roby into play. No worries for Wayne Pearson, who's leaving Roby for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van. While YOV is not under immediate threat from D-Max, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. D-Max is making ground on YOV, quicker than a roux in a paddock. Now, the gap's just 4.6 seconds.
This is a real test for YOV. They need to find some extra pace and hold off D-Max if they want to win this race.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Simon Barnes will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Oi, Simon Barnes' chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Eric Wolf's has got a battle ahead. It may seem like Megasaurus 55 is far behind, but Sunrider can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Megasaurus 55 an opening to catch up.
Absolutely right, Rob, and Megasaurus 55 knows that too. They have to keep driving at their best if they want to take advantage of any opportunity that comes their way.
Sunrider is giving a masterclass out there, but will overconfidence be their downfall?
Indeed, Rob, pride comes before a fall. Let's see if Megasaurus 55 can capitalize on any mistake.
You know, Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
Wow, Roby is really pushing it. They're coming up fast, Simon Barnes, and there's no way they can make the turn.
Accidents happen. I have my popcorn ready.
Watching Eric Wolfs try to close that gap on Wayne Pearson is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Wayne Pearson is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Eric Wolfs in P6 doing everything they can to catch up.
Remember when we thought Eric Wolfs had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Wayne Pearson's mirrors awfully busy. It's a battle of wills out there, with Megasaurus 55 trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Sunrider. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
My mama used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Megasaurus 55 missed that lesson. Just like my pie-making class.
Megasaurus 55 appears to be losing ground on Sunrider. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Virage de Bender and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground. You ever miss the roar of engines, Hal?
Every single day, Rob. But we've got the next best thing, dissecting every nuance of these races and sharing our digital wisdom with the world.
Simon Barnes is placed 7th at the moment. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Simon Barnes is in the lead, but Roby is closing in and the gap is now 13.0 seconds. Yoff is placed 3rd at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of D-Max, who is 5.0 seconds behind. A commanding performance from YOV, who has increased their lead over D-Max, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. But could they be pushing too hard? As with that comes the risk of overconfidence and losing control. Who will be the first to get too cocky and end up in the wall?
Yes, it's clear that YOV is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for D-Max to catch up.
As a former racing driver, Hal, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Rob. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
Tell ya what, Megasaurus 55 is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today. It looks like Eric Wolfs is pushing hard to catch up to Wayne Pearson. The gap is over a second, but Eric Wolfs is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Wayne Pearson?
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Eric Wolfs, keep pushing.
Even though Megasaurus 55 is a fair way behind Sunrider, they can't afford to let their guard down. Sunrider is still vulnerable to mistakes. He's pulling away. Sunrider is increasing the gap to Megasaurus 55. It looks like Megasaurus 55 needs to dig deep and find some courage to catch up. Will they be able to take the risk and push their car to the limit?
That's right, Rob. It's time for Megasaurus 55 to show us what they're made of. Will they be brave enough to go for it, or will they be content with just following in the footsteps of Sunrider? Let's see who's got the guts to take the lead.
You can feel the focus radiating from Wayne Pearson, confidently holding onto the fifth.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Wayne Pearson's act from fifth is worth an encore.
What a move. Wayne Pearson has moved up to fourth.
That's what we like to see. Wayne Pearson is really showing their class today.
In your experience, Hal, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Rob, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and D-Max is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Wayne Pearson to bring D-Max into play. Oh no, Hal, look at this. D-Max is closing in on Wayne Pearson. The gap is now just 10.6 seconds. While Simon Barnes is not under immediate threat from Roby, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Simon Barnes is hitting the apexes like a pro, increasing their lead over Roby. But can they keep it up without spinning out?
That's right, Rob. It's all fun and games until someone pops a tire. Let's hope both of them can keep it on the black stuff.
The gap between D-Max and Eric Wolfs may be wide, but that doesn't mean D-Max is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
You're spot on. And Eric Wolfs knows that they can't rely on D-Max making an error. They have to keep driving with skill and determination, and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
Struth, D-Max is driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and Eric Wolfs. Is there anything left in Eric Wolfs' tank? It may seem like Roby is far behind, but Simon Barnes can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Roby an opening to catch up. Simon Barnes is losing time to Roby like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight.
Simon Barnes has got to turn on the afterburners if they want to keep Roby in check.
Even though D-Max is a fair way behind Wayne Pearson, they can't afford to let their guard down. Wayne Pearson is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Wayne Pearson's setting the pace out there. Now, it's on D-Max to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
Wayne Pearson's leg is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, D-Max will be on their tail in 7.4 seconds. The gap between Eric Wolfs in 6th and D-Max remains over a second, but Eric Wolfs is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 6 minutes? Well, don't come the raw prawn. Eric Wolfs is giving it some stick, pulling D-Max into a mere 4.1 seconds. D-Max is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Eric Wolfs, who is 3.9 seconds behind.
Reckon Eric Wolfs is starting to feel a bit like they're out in the outback. They can see the horizon, but it's a long way off. Good on ya, D-Max, for keeping that distance.
The gap between D-Max and Eric Wolf's is getting smaller. It's now down to 3.7 seconds.
This is where the mental strength of D-Max comes into play. They need to stay calm and composed under pressure.
Looks like Megasaurus 55 is chasing Sunrider harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Megasaurus 55 is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Sunrider keeps hiding the main ingredient.
It's not looking good for Megasaurus 55. They are still behind Sunrider and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Eric Wolf's is drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Eric Wolf's and D-Max. The gap between D-Max and Eric Wolf's is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from D-Max to bring Eric Wolf's into play. Oh, it seems Hal that D-Max has seen their lead over Eric Wolf's shrink to 3.4 seconds. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners, it's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a rail?
Hold on a second, fantastic move from D-Max, who has just gained a position. D-Max is in the pits. Oof, if Roby was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
Hoo boy, Robbie needs to kick it into high gear. Right now, they're slower than molasses in January or my cousin Earl trying to solve a crossword.
Gee whiz, Roby's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking. Great driving from Roby, who has just gained a place and moved up to 7th. You reckon Roby saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. D-Max isn't just racing, they're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in 6th.
Yes, and in this high-octane opera, D-Max's voice resonates the loudest from that 6th.
D-Max couldn't hold back the tide. Simon Barnes is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning.
Simon Barnes is hot on D-Max's trail like a Carolina Reaper. This is shaping up to be a nail-biter, folks.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Eric Wolf's may be wide, but that doesn't mean Wayne Pearson is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, Wayne Pearson's got the miles, and Eric Wolf's is counting the inches.
Wayne Pearson's pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Eric Wolf's. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing. If racing were a dance, Simon Barnes would be trying to lead, but D-Max just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Dang, Simon Barnes is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Bloody oath, Simon Barnes is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to D-Max down to a scant 13.2 seconds. Megasaurus 55's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast, and at least I woke up with a kebab in hand. Good on ya, Megasaurus 55. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy. The race is heating up as Simon Barnes in 7th closes in on D-Max. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Tyre degradation's a right pain in the ass, but Simon Barnes is handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with D-Max, aren't they? It may seem like Simon Barnes is far behind, but D-Max can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Simon Barnes an opening to catch up.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than Simon Barnes is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them.
On the final lap now, and Sunrider looks like they might just wrap up this win. And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Sunrider. In 5th, it's Eric Wolfs. Impressive 2nd place finish for Megasaurus 55.
Strong work securing 2nd place. Well done.
D-Max end in 6th. Simon Barnes in 7th. With Roby in 8th. What a race from YOV, showing their skill and determination for a great 3rd place finish.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Taking 4th is Wayne Pearson.